to start this is the meeting of the Community Preservation Committee for January 26th. We are meeting in a remote meeting per governor allowances. And I will call the meeting to order. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
The first order of business are the minutes of the December 16th meeting. Thank you very much, Mary, for the great job on those.
Well, I missed the very first opening line. The first line should say, Gary Sorkin called the meeting to order at 7 p.m.
Oh, all right.
Totally missed that.
Are there, accept a motion about the minutes?
I move that we accept them as printed or as corrected by Mary.
Excellent. Thank you.
Second,
Karen.
Michael.
Thank you, Michael. It's been moved and seconded. Are there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes of December 16th signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye.
Aye.
Michael, you have a question? I'm sorry. Oh,
No,
you're
no, that
raising
was-
your hand.
I'm raising my hand. You told me to
I
raise my
see it.
hand.
Thank you, Michael.
Your other hand.
Right. Okay, so the minutes have been approved. Are there any nays or any abstentions? Seeing none. The second order of business is that we have to approve the payment of the coalition dues. I don't have the amount right here in front of me. How much is it, Mary?
It is $2,875, same as last year.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't been on the committee before, last year we had I guess the good news is that your dues are based upon how much money you raise. And we actually went from one level to the next level, from the lowest level to the second lowest level last year, which means we're raising more money locally, which is a function of our increased real estate values. But anyway, be that as it may, I do think we got good value for our money this year, and would certainly entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Approve the coalition dues.
So move.
Thank you. Mary, would you just, for the record, read the amount again in the motion? We approved
Yes,
to pay the coalition.
2,800, I mean, $2,875.
yes.
Great. It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second, Michael.
Thank you, Fred. Is there any discussion with regard to paying the minutes?
It's a lot of money, but I do
Right.
think that they do a good job, so.
Well, this year we got I think they were instrumental in getting us the surplus amount.
Right.
I remember that we did get an extra roughly $100,000, Jan,
Yes,
out
so
of the state. So that was good. And they did come and talk to us. And they've also answered questions on a number of occasions. So actually, I think we got better value this year than we have in the past. But be that as it may, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor of paying the coalition dues signify by raising your hand and saying aye.
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 Thank you all. Any nays? Any objections? So Mary and I went to the select board meeting on January 11th.
me too.
Oh, excuse me, Jan, you
Yeah, I
too.
was there.
And it was, very brief. We presented the needs and also the highlights of what we are approving this year for CPA grants. And Mary and I were talking is that maybe each year we will have one of the committees in the 4 areas, open space, historic, housing and recreation, is present their needs, give them a chance maybe to talk to the public, or at least to the select board and those attending, and talk to them about what they want and what their needs are. Do you like that idea?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Sure.
So I think we just make a note that for next year, does anyone want to volunteer to be the first? I'm gonna
Gary,
have to-
actually, Gary, I have a question.
Sure.
Would it be too onerous to have let's say, no more than 5-minute presentation from at each category annually?
Well, we could do that, but I was thinking, David, is that really highlight them and give people really a chance to talk.
Mhm.
The problem with you dissipate the attention and the time. And this is really an opportunity for you to say, here are the needs of the open space community in Wellfleet, and and really articulate what you want and what you want.
Yeah,
from the
but then it's
town.
every 3 years. That's a pretty long time.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's try it.
Yeah.
With one, and if we think that doesn't, if we need to change it to generally, we can do it. What do other people think?
The select board doesn't want long presentations, so I think 5 minutes from one would probably be better than 20 minutes from 4.
Not to mention the select board's public, or the attendees. So I'm looking for a volunteer for next year. Who would like the historic or open space?
I volunteer the open space
You volunteer the open space. Excellent.
because it's the purest set of needs. Everybody else kind of mingles needs and projects, which is okay. But
Right.
but the open space one is the ideal needs list.
All right. So will you coordinate that, please, Mary, for next year?
Well, I think Fred was going to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fred.
Jumped in.
I was just going to say that that gives me a year to think about
Right.
what to focus on.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, you could prep and right.
Well, and conservation works with you.
But now, Fred, we're gonna expect really glossy overheads and
Right.
And Fred, if you'd like
You
to
know,
talk
the
to me, we could meet a little bit in advance and talk about things if you'd
That's a
like.
good idea. Thank you, Michael. Yes.
And the problem is that we're slightly autonomous. We need to be respectful and include the selectmen in what we choose to do. But they have so many big things that they have to work on. So I think they've always just kind of paid lip service to listening to what we're talking about, really.
we agree, Jan. That's why we were thinking maybe is if we had a little bit more in-depth presentation to kind of force them to say,
To think of it.
yeah, exactly right.
Well, and there's also the benefit to the public.
Yes, I think the people listening have an interest.
I would just add that we're in the process now of putting together an open space and recreation plan, which is something that the state requires if you want to apply for grants, special grants that are available for open space and recreation. And we're trying to involve the select board in that process. We've reached out to them for their suggestions. And so this sort of goes along with that idea of getting the select board involved with our various activities.
And I don't know if you all are aware that there is, if you go to the town website, there is a survey that the county is conducting. And it's a question about how they spend their ARPA funds, which are approximately $4 million that they have in money that they're trying to hone where the best place is to spend it. So I would encourage you to go on the town website and look at the county ARPA survey and really look at the one that says, should they distribute based upon population, which we would obviously get the short end of the stick on that, as opposed to some other by project or by area. But anyway, take a look at that, and if you have an opportunity, fill that in. Elaine, can you hear us at this point?
Yes, I can. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
terrific.
Good.
Welcome.
Don't know what happened to my computer, but the iPad's working.
Terrific.
Elaine, I've been wanting to report to help to make you feel better, not that you worry, but as I sit here looking directly out my window, I see your house. Everything's great. It looks fine and happy.
Thank you.
Check with him on Saturday.
I appreciate those eyes.
Check with him on Saturday when we get our storm. So,
Right. All right.
okay. So anything else on the needs hearing?
Well, there was one question that Mary raised. We came up with a list in 2021, but at the end of the year, and now it's the 2022 list.
Yes.
Are we going to have to do it again so soon, or can we just go with what we have already?
Mary, do you want to comment on that? Or I think it's not a bad
Well,
idea to look
they
at
don't
the-
change drastically, but what we need to do is schedule a time that's going to work for you and the select board to, to do a presentation.
No, I was thinking more the list that we come up with each year,
Yes.
we came up with last year.
Yeah, it was the 21 list, but we didn't get to the select board until it was 22.
Exactly. So do we have to come up with a new list
Oh, I see.
or approve that list again before the select board meeting?
Michael, I think we're required by legislation to do it annually. So even though technically it fell in 22, I think it doesn't hurt to do it again. And you know, there may be some big project or effort that comes up in each category, a new project.
And if we aim maybe for a fall presentation, it wouldn't be that current.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see where we are next year.
Okay.
All right, anything else on the needs hearing? So now the bulk of the meeting is really about the approval of the draft warrant articles to go into the town meeting.
The recommendations.
Yeah. Mary, is there a date now for the town meeting? Have you heard?
I think you got something, he's aiming for April. I don't have a copy of the warrant, the draft warrant, but
Right.
Charlie's been moving right ahead with it. And did anybody listen to the select board last night? I think it was going to be on.
No, but it's the fourth Monday. I mean, I think they're trying to get back
it
to
was-
the routine, back to our regular.
Yeah, it's
Great.
scheduled for,
The fourth Monday would be the 25th of April.
That
yeah,
sounds,
I think that's right. I think that's right.
So, and I think they're looking to have it be indoors. So we'll keep you posted, but
Mm.
this is
be
to
tough
approve.
on the ball field at that time of year at night.
So if we could identify the warrant articles, I will kind of try and lead us, see if there are any questions. So they're not numbered, but just in the order in which they were presented to us.
I can give you the numbers that
Oh.
are in the draft as we do
Excellent.
them.
Mary, go ahead and do that.
So number 30 is the administrative expenses and the allocation of reserves.
Excellent. So, and have there been any changes in the draft that you have, Mary?
Well, you just pointed out
One,
a
right.
little, grammatical error, which it's been proofread, the draft, but I don't have that draft with me. I haven't seen that draft. But I'll be sure that little proofreading
Okay.
correction is made.
So would someone like to take the lead and move each article and someone second it?
I'm happy to
Okay.
move the number 30, the administrative, the usual article
Okay. And
that
the,
we approve. Yeah.
okay, is there a second?
Second,
Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded that we approve placing the administrative expenses and allocation of reserves, Article 30, on the town warrant for 2022. Is there any discussion? The only thing I would note is that we did, in an attempt to maximize what we could give people, we reduced the administrative set aside for to 3.9%. From our usual 5%.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's fairly standard.
Hmm.
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor of Article 30 signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. Okay, Article, is it 31?
31?
And the Housing Trust, is that correct, Mary?
Yes.
Okay, Jan, if you would.
I move that we approve the Housing Trust article number 31
Excellent.
as printed.
Is there a discussion? I mean, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Could I just say in the discussion part, I'm very pleased to tell you that we gave the trust a year ago money to use for housing and to be used as they see fit. And we had an opportunity to do another buy down, and we are about to close on our 8th new homeowner in Wellfleet, a young woman with a couple of kids. And we hope to close on that next month, and that money is coming out of the allocation we gave to the trust the last time. So it works.
Very good. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand saying aye.
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 Any nays? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. The next one is Article 32, Mary?
32,
And is that the buy down?
and that's the buy down.
Excellent. So as a, Jan, do you want to move
I
this,
move
please?
that we approve and vote in favor of Article 32, the buy down article as printed.
Excellent. And is there a second?
Second,
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Maybe this has got touched on earlier, but it looks like there's a typo on the amount. My version says $185.
Right.
Oh,
That's very generous.
I've got the one from the office, and it's 185,000,
I figured it might have been caught, but just to
not
be sure.
185. Yeah,
Right.
it's been corrected someplace along the line.
I'm afraid that won't buy you much house in Wellfleet.
No,
Right.
not even a doghouse.
No, I don't even think it'd buy you a B&B night.
well, then
But anyway.
maybe I should say that I move that we approve $185,000
Good
for
idea.
the buy down article number 32. How about that?
Yeah,
Thank
good.
you, Jan. That's a good idea.
Just in case.
Yep, that's good.
Very good. So, and as I noted earlier, we're about to complete one, so this would really be terrific. We could start a new one in the early summer. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. The next one for Lily House, is that still the case?
33 is Lily House.
Okay, 33.
36, did you say?
No, 33.
33, okay.
Okay, Jan, if you would.
I move that we approve the amount for, what is it, $20,000, Mary?
Yes.
Yes.
For the Lily House article number 33.
Excellent. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Just a question. Do we know whether they actually closed on on the house? Because we weren't going to give them money unless they had the property,
It was
Right.
the deed. It was the deed.
the deed.
Do you know that, Mary?
I don't know.
Mary, can you check? But Michael, to your point, we would not enter into a contract unless they had clear title. So we would not give them this money.
Even if it's approved at town meeting, we won't.
Well, let's see, that's interesting, because our motion is subject to the title. This one isn't.
Yeah, maybe we should alter it.
Yeah, maybe we should make a recommendation either in the summary or, no, the summary isn't binding, so.
Well, it would be in the grant agreement. The agreement would specify.
I understand, but Mary, would you just make a note to one, check on it? If it's,
Okay,
if it's done, it's a non-issue. If it's not done, then I think we have to suggest that the motion that the town council prepares
mhm,
be subject to that.
Yeah.
So that the motion that we approve
Okay.
at town meeting would match the motion at the CPC. Good point, David. Okay, is there any other discussion with regard to Lily House? Seeing none, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by raising your hand saying aye.
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 Any nays? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. Article 34 would be the funding for the Lower Cape Housing Institute.
Yes, and was that $7,500 this
It
year?
was in
Yes.
fact 7,500. That is correct.
So I move that we approve Article 34, the $7,500 for the Institute.
Okay. It's
Second.
been moved. Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you, Jodine. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any conversation or discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor of placing this on the town warrant signify by raising your hand saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Maybe we should sing them. Are there any nays? And any abstentions? Thank you very much. Jan, is this Article 30? I've lost count.
35.
35 is probably the school, 315.
no,
No,
35
no.
is the historical plan.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't make a separate copy, so I didn't know.
All right. So 35 is the historic plan continuation.
Right, and that is how much, Mary?
20,300.
20,300, okay. So I move that we approve Article 35 for the historic housing continuation at $20,300.
Second, Michael. Thank you, Michael. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this? We're all set. We're okay with putting the website in there?
We have in the past, that's
Have we? Okay,
same language.
great. Okay, any other discussion? Then I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye.
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 Any nays? And any abstentions? So the next one is for the museum, which would be Article 36. Jan, do you want to read this one?
Unfortunately, as I say, I
Oh,
don't,
all right.
copy, but I know it's $20,000
Right, all
for
right, so-
the museum, and it's that we approve it.
But it says museum renovation and accessibility of Historic Society Museum.
Somebody's talking in the
Oh,
background.
wait, I'll close the door here.
Yes, for $20,000, and
Okay,
I move that Article 36 be approved.
okay.
Second,
there, thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded.
Oh, I missed the second. I'm sorry.
David,
David,
Okay.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding this? So it's been moved and seconded. There's no other discussion. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your hand saying aye.
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 Any nays? Any abstentions? So that is passed as recorded. The last one, and we is the elementary school. For Jan's purpose, it's entitled the Wellfleet Elementary School Playground, and it's for $315,000.
15,000. And it's number 38, I would guess.
37.
37, okay. Number 37, Article 37, that we approve the appropriation for the school playground at $315,000.
Excellent.
second,
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? I guess my only question would be, should we ask them to move this up to be like the second article right after administration, or we don't care?
I have them by category, so I think you keep the people that are there for the elementary school playground.
Oh, all right. That's
Keep
one
it.
thing. This likely, okay, so let's take this up. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion with regard?
I just wanted to add that I've noticed the school keeps sending out to parents and the public at large to still raise more money. I think they have it set in their hearts to do the whole job and somehow find all the additional money. We were thinking they would divide it up, but I think they still are trying to raise more money to do the whole job. So,
That would be great if they can do that.
Mm.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of the elementary school playground, raise your hand and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Excellent. So.
I would like to suggest that we try to do these all in one, Mary, as we did last year.
Right, that's called a consent decree.
Yeah, I think it's up to the moderator.
Right, I was gonna say, I think Danny will likely do that, especially if these are Articles 30. I don't know how many articles are in the town meeting, but there must be quite a few.
Sure, always are. And these don't seem controversial, so it would seem easy to do it. Mhm.
Famous last words, we never know what,
I know.
what's in the minds of the audience or the voters, but.
And you never know.
Right, but we can certainly, when it gets closer to it, we can request that.
Recommend that.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, anything else on the warrant or the town meeting?
Any news on money, Mary? Any
Well,
progress?
that was, I don't have a project concern. That's the next item. But
Right.
money, Lisa is actively working on the CPC money right now.
Great.
Oh, terrific.
Good
So maybe
news.
we'll have some, everyone perhaps saw in the Independent, there was some discussion about combining Eastham and Wellfleet finance departments
Mhm.
because they're having such trouble finding people.
we may have to do more and more of that.
Yes. Well, regionalization has been around, the quest for it, but the reality has not been so much, so.
Right.
maybe
I
this will-
think we'd have to straighten out our problems before anybody would want to share with us. Whew.
Right, we're still in process on that, so. But I think in the case of the CPC, that, it's likely that we will have substantially more money next year
Mm.
because we will have historic reserves as opposed to current receipts to deal with. All right, any other project updates or concerns, Mary?
I don't have anything else. I was just
Any-
Lisa is
Any
getting,
from
No,
Great. So I think we have a question of whether we need another meeting before town meeting. Mary, what do you think? Is there some compelling reason for us to meet?
not that I know of at this time. When I check with Charlie, there might be something else, but I can't think of anything now.
Well, generally speaking, folks, we meet right after town meeting to kind of assess what has been approved and see if there are any issues or concerns. So a next meeting could wait until May. If that meets with everybody's pleasure, and I would suggest I will be away later in May, but maybe early in May, May 4th, Wednesday, May 4th at 9 o'clock. Does that meet with everybody's calendar?
I think so on my end. I may be away, but it's not clear yet. So let's go ahead and go with
Right,
that.
we can do it, and then David, if a number of people can't make it, we don't have a quorum, we can change.
Yeah, okay.
So I'd like to suggest May 4th at 9 o'clock is the next meeting of the CPC. Good. Are there any other issues or concerns or topics that anyone wants to raise?
I just want to note, which I've gotten into the habit of doing with other groups as well, whenever a meeting is done in such an efficient manner, i.e. finishing earlier than the norm, it's worth noting. I did that with the planning board recently as well at the end of the meeting. So that's all. I just wanted to note that. It's a good
That
thing.
would be much more remarkable.
I was
with
going to
the
say a
planning
short,
board than
efficient planning board meeting.
CPC.
It was
We all
remarkable.
applaud
It
that.
took, I
Yes.
believe it took an actual hour, which is pretty much unprecedented.
Unheard
So
of.
I thought about doing a motion, but I just noted it instead.
I'm noting it too.
Your observation is noted, David. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Gary. Very nice. Thank you.
Good.
Happy
Well,
winter, everybody.
Everyone brave the storm. I hope the snow avoids us somehow, but except for Elaine. But safe travels to you, Fred, and anyone else who is journeying away for the winter. And we will see you in May.
Very good. Bye-bye.
We need a motion.
Bye.
We need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you, Jan.
Second.
All those in favor.
Aye.
Hi.
Stay safe, everyone.
thank
too.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.